around the world. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of Asia with stops in China, India, Cambodia, Nepal, and Tibet, all without ever leaving the beautiful Bronx. We've just traveled 7,000 miles to the wilds of Asia, and we're looking for 2 deer species and an antelope species. Little guys back there with the white bellies are black buck antelope, smallest antelope species in Asia, fully grown, 2.5 feet at the shoulder. Males have horns, females do not. The large honey-colored deer in front of you are the Barasinga. The word Barasinga means 12-tined in the Hindi language, as males will have 12 to 14 points on their antlers. We're also looking at India's national bird, the peafowl. And only the males are called peacocks, females are called peahens. They get together and make baby pea chicks. The males are the ones with those impressive back feathers they prop up with their tail feathers during the mating season. Once they've mated, they shed those feathers. Then you can only tell a male from a female, because the males have blue heads and the females have green. They have free roam of the Bronx Zoo. You'll see them everywhere today, not just here in Asia. These huts tell an important conservation story. Little deer that live in and around the huts are Indian muntjac deer.
Farmers in
Farmers in Indonesia live closely with wild animals, like elephants, which we will see shortly. WCS field staff work with local leaders and farmers in Indonesia to come up with the Crop Protection Unit. This unit created many different ways for farming to continue in close proximity of wild animals. One strategy was to soak ropes in chili powder and place them around the crops. Elephants do not like chili and leave the farms alone, allowing the farmer and the animals to share the habitat peacefully.
We all know that an animal that's extinct is no longer with us, like the dinosaur and the dodo bird. The animals in our next exhibit were completely extinct in nature and could only be found in zoos. We're talking about the Mongolian wild horse, or Przewalski's horse. While there are genetic differences between wild horses and domestic horses, there are physical differences as well. They're shorter and stockier in build. They have an erect mane that's lacking the forelock, the piece of mane that falls between the eyes of a domestic horse. They're rockin' the mohawk. They were born genetically awesome. Captive breeding of Mongolian wild horses began in 1901 with a herd of only 28 animals. The Bronx Zoo received our first herd in 1902, and we have maintained that herd ever since. We're happy to report that Mongolian wild horses are being reintroduced into the wilds of Mongolia and southern China from both North American and Asian zoos. We're now going to hear from Jonathan Slatt, our Asian expert.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth, and my job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. Przewalski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. And on a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing and successful efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories, to watch the impossible become possible, and to see hope restored. And that's what's happening today with Przewalski's horse.
As you can see, we give our animals lots of room to roam, as we're still in the Mongolian wild horse exhibit. But I'll be able to pinpoint most of the animals for you today, even if they're not necessarily in plain sight. It's not difficult to do if you'd like to try. So put yourself in their hooves and figure out where you would go for a shady spot to rest or a little grazing time. When we reach the top of this hill, we'll be on the lookout for 2 endangered species, the brow antler deer and the gaur. And the first we're going to encounter on this trip are the brow antler deer. They get their name from the male's antlers that look like 2 bushy eyebrows coming up out of the top of their head. They're currently classified as vulnerable, as all of their habitat has been taken over for farmland in their native Cambodia. As soon as you get to the stump, look to the back fence line. That's where you'll find the first one. Then look to the left in the valley and to the right in the meadow, and you'll find the rest of our herd. But don't strain yourself looking for antlers. It's ladies' day out. To the right are the gaur, the world's largest wild cattle. Males stand 6 feet at the shoulder, 10 feet long, and weigh 2,000 pounds. With their incredible size and horns, a gaur can take on anything, even a tiger. What threatens these beautiful creatures is lack of an Asian habitat and diseases they catch from domestic cattle. If the horns point straight up, it's a male. If they curve in at the top, it's a female.